Hello? Can you hear me? Hello, Kathy? Can you... yes, I can hear you. Alright, maybe put a video. Alright, can you see me now? Have you got me on a video? Alright, okay. Hello, everybody. I can't see you. But I thought you can see me, even. You can see me there? Oh, there's maybe a little delay. No, not prepare, no. Don't you know, you must never prepare. That's like an insult for the Holy Spirit, if you prepare. Don't they teach you that at Regent? No, you must never prepare. I like to just let the Spirit, he must flow also through me. Now I will just share a little word for you. Like maybe a word from the Spirit if He speaks to us through the Scriptures. Well, maybe we'll see. Don't want to quench also the Spirit. Must see. Okay, so what will I teach you? Something to make you feel very, very special inside. Like warm inside and fuzzy. For the new students, maybe make them feel at home. Alright, so what can I share for now? Alright, so I'm not with you there. I'm also here instead, not there. So that's what is a 3 point. That's a 3 point sermon. Have you heard of that before? Right, you know what that means? It's not 2 points. 2 points, it's like in basketball. If you're close, then it's 2 points. If you're far away, then it's 3 points. So now we will do a 3 point sermon. So basketball. Right, what is the Spirit saying about basketball? Basket. Alright, who do we know in the Bible who is in a basket? Does anybody know? Moses. Mr. Moses. He's born in a basket of bulrushes in the Nile. So, alright, so what does Mr. Moses want to teach us, the new kids, about being a student, to encourage the new people? Oh, here's a good one. Alright, Exodus chapter 5, okay. It says here in verse 5, afterward, Moses and Aaron are going to Pharaoh and said, this is what the Lord, the God of Israel, said. Let my people go. Is in inverted commas. Let my people go. What does that teach us about students? How does that encourage a student? Here's a very good example. Mr. Moses and Mr. Aaron, they're very good at academic. So, they didn't pretend it's their own words. No. It's God's words. He knows it. So he references his sources. So, it's a direct quote. This is what the Lord says. Let my people go. Also, maybe he can footnote it, but he put it in the text there. So, if we've got a good example in the Bible, then it means also we must have a bad example. So, obviously, who is his arch enemy? Who's it? Yes, Pharaoh. Mr. Pharaoh. He's the opposite of good. So, if Moses does it proper, then obviously Pharaoh, he's not doing it properly. He's a badly example. He does it wrong, and then what happens? Yes, plagiarism. 10 of them. Alright, so he's got the boils and the flies. So, he is plagiarizing and he gets in big trouble. Mr. Moses, he doesn't. He's doing it right. Follow Moses' example. That's point number 1. Point number 2, what the Spirit will say. That's my first point. Moses is a good example for a student at Regent. Alright, point 1. What's point 2? What will Moses teach us from the basket? Alright, what can he say? Alright, okay, I know. Sabbath. You know what is Sabbath? That's like a 7th day. Alright, it's a trick that God gives us. It's to help us to get through college because there's a lot of work. So He gives us a Sabbath. Alright, it's so that we can stay sane. So, yeah. So, what does it say? What does He say about the Sabbaths? Yeah, He says, tell the Israelites, keep my rules about the Sabbaths. Yeah, alright, keep going. If anybody treats a Sabbath like every other day, he must get put to death. Yes, now this one. There are 6 days for working, but that 7th day, there's a day of rest. So, There's a very good explanation in the Bible right here. What is it so important for us about the Sabbath keeping at Regent to help us? So, as a student, that work will just got more and more, and it just builds up and builds up, right? Sometimes it must feel like there must be never enough time, and the work will never stop, finished. But here's the grace of the Lord with the Sabbath, and this is why Sabbath is very important at Regent. So, where it says here, there are 6 days, what is for working, and the 7th day is a day of rest. It's very simple. The simple meaning is always the right meaning. So, what does it mean? You must get as much work as you can get done on the 6 days, and then the 7th day, that's when you do the rest. Yes, it's like extra time in hockey. If you don't have enough points at the end of the game, it's alright. It's not the end of the game. It's like grace. That's what the Sabbath. There's more time. Alright, so what else he can teach us? Alright, moving straight now on. What is the third point is important? I know what it is. Friendship. You have to got friendship if you will got through. So, what can he say? What is the ancient word for friends? It is very simple. Neighbors. So verse right here. You shall not covet your neighbor's house or his wife or even his servant or maybe even his ox. So you mustn't covet the neighbor's things. Alright, so what does the Lord say here about the neighbors? Alright, sometimes he's like a treasure hunt. He's trying to teach us something, and then we need to know what is he saying here. So then we wait for the Lord. Alright, maybe we search in a cross reference. You know what is a cross, right? He says that's in the New Testament with Jesus. So, alright, so we go to look in Luke, of course, the ox. So we now look in Luke here. Alright, what does it say in Luke? Alright, yes, on a Sabbath. It's all about a Sabbath. That's what we're saying about. So it says here in Luke, where is it? Your ox must fall into a pit on a Sabbath. Then you must rescue him out. Alright, so what do we know about a neighbor in the New Testament? You must love him as yourself. So if you must take your own ox out of the pit, you must also take out a neighbor's ox, straight out of the pit. That's how you love your neighbor's ox, the same as you love your own ox. It's very simple. It's all coming together here. There's two or more have agreeing, and this is how we know. Alright, so if you've got to took your own ox out of the pit on a Sabbath, then you must also love your neighbor's ox as yourself's ox. So if his neighbor falls in a pit, the neighbor's ox fall in a pit, just like you've took your ox out on a Sabbath, must also have took his ox out on a Sabbath. It's very important, friends. If an ox falls in a pit, then you must also lift him out like your own. But now I don't have an ox. None of my friends even have an ox. So obviously it's a metaphor. Obviously it's allegory, this one. So if the ox falls, you must think another way. What is the Lord teaching us about this? Ox falls. Sometimes you should say, what does that sound like? What does it make me think of? Ox falls rhymes with what? I'll give you a clue, like a university. Yes? Ox forward. Yes, that's right. Ox falls rhymes with ox forwards. Right. So, of course, what do we know now about Oxford University? It's a big regent. It's like the same thing, just much bigger. Alright, so who comes from Oxford? Did you know some famous, here's a hint, a famous person. Yes, Mr. C.S. Lewis. He's an Oxford man. Now, not everybody knows this, but he wasn't even a professor there. He was just like a junior professor there. He was a don. That's what they call it. He's like a almost professor, like Mariam Kamel. She's almost soon a professor. Right, that's a don. So they didn't say sir there. They didn't say Mr. So what do you think they called him at Oxford? Anybody knows? Don Lewis. Of course, it's right in the text for us. What does it mean for other students at Regent, with the neighbors? It's not just our own students' friends. You must also be friends with the professors. Don Lewis, alright. And then also, I think it's alright if you see on a Sabbath, if Don Lewis has fallen in a pit, you must also be allowed to take him out. It's alright. Okay, so that's my 3 points that the Lord has teach us from Moses in a basket. Now, I do want to just finish with just asking please for a little prayer request, of course, because I've my friend Mr. Theran, you've known Mr. Theran? Yes, he's a Regent as well as a student. I like to be friends with the students, also even though I'm the president. But I don't mean to gossip about Mr. Theran, but I'm very concerned, so I'm just saying so you will pray. Please to just pray for him and his family. They're going through a very rough time at the moment because their son, Clayton, is obviously every Christian parent has wanting his kids to be Christians, to grow also up into the Christians. But we're just praying as a community because we received some news from the doctor when he was at the hospital that his son, whose name is Clayton, he was born with an unbiblical cord. Yes, it's very concerning. Yes, so please just keep him in our prayers. As I said, I didn't mean to gossip. It's just so we can pray. Alright. Okay. I'm going to go now. Kathy, you can also take over now. I'm just going to say goodbye. Alright. No, that's my pleasure, Kathy. Alright. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Have fun, eh? Right. Okay, bye.